Honk.
Yes, the honk that leads us into almost, but not quite the end of summer. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Argonauts. Welcome, everybody, to a Tuesday stream. It is 1:05 p.m. Eastern on August 30th, 2022, in the year of our Lord, etc., etc. And the time has come for the just about end of August and the Patreon-fueled chat-chosen game of the month, Citizen Sleeper. And I figured I might see Turbo Tango in here today. Because I believe there is just a little bit of history that Mike has with this game, because I know that he played it on his channel, and I am looking forward to playing it. This is what won the Patreon-fueled vote, so I'm looking forward to giving this a shot. I do want to thank, by the way, GOG.com, my sister channel, as it were, the other channel on which I spend a fair bit of time, for being kind enough to send me a copy of this. This is the GOG version that I will be playing today, but thanks to GOG.com, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Should be a good time. Before we get there, though, just a couple of reminders about ways to support us here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please follow us here on the channel. Please check out our YouTube at !ArvTube. Discord is !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets, and website arvanelaron.com. Financially, !ArvShop is our merchandise area. We have Infinity and Beyond stuff there. We have Adventures in Middle-earth stuff there. And soon we're going to have some Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks stuff there as well. So that thing is still under construction, as it were, so we're hoping to get that cleared out of the way in the next couple of weeks. My plan is to get a bunch of stuff done. I've gotten most of it done, actually, that I wanted to get done this summer, but there are a couple of odds and ends left that I want to do over the next week or so, including the stuff with websites, and then it's going to be into the fall semester for me, and also, of course, channel stuff, and also working on Renegade, which is the next book in the Greyshade series, and making sure I have my edits done so I can send them off to my amazing editor at Athos Arts, the amazing Emily the Honored. So I'm going to be doing that, and that's the plan. And I have a short story I have to do, and things are happening. Stuff is underway. But anyway, so yes, that is Arv Shop, ! ArvTreon is the Patreon, which is really the financial backbone of the channel, and it's the reason that we're able to do this chat chosen game of the month every month, including the one that we're doing today. So we've got that going on, and again, you can get good stuff for yourself and for the channel. And then, of course, subbing to the channel is always appreciated. You get those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch, and that is always appreciated as well. And last but certainly not least, on the publishing front, ! Icarus for my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts, ! Library for my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, that is my 5e adventure and source book from Alligator Alley Entertainment, and ! Greyshade, which of course is my newest novel that came out on May 31st, and that will link you to the backer kit, where you can put in your pre-orders for Renegade, for Heretic, where you can get a copy of or pre-order, I should say, a copy of Trent's audiobook for Greyshade, and get other stuff related to it, including, of course, the Greyshade RPG. So we got a bunch of stuff going on there. That is going to be very exciting for Greyshade over the next couple of months. I'm very excited about stuff with that. And then, let's see. I'm trying to think about the last thing is, okay, yes, Tales and Tomes, I said that, right, so that's the publishing stuff you need to be have in your mind, and of course, as always, ! BLM, Black Lives Matter, very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives, ! Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention, very important to reach out to others when you need help, and to reach out to others when they need help as well, and of course, ! Ukraine, Ukraine, as the people of Ukraine continue to fight back now over 6 months, hard to believe, against an illegal and illegitimate war, and are doing so with bravery and courage and some success. But still, it has been absolutely devastating, of course, and so this is a way that we can help them fight back in our own small way. Quick note on schedule. We've got Citizen Sleeper now. I'm going to be playing this for about 2 hours. I will wrap up right around 3:15 Eastern. Then I'm going to be over at GOG.com's Twitch channel at 4 p.m. Eastern for some more Solasta. It's been a while since I've been able to get back into Solasta Lost Valley DLC, so I'm going to go do that at 4 p.m. And then I'm going to be wrapping that up early. I'm going to be finishing it up around 6:30 p.m. Eastern, because around 7:30 at the latest, but hopefully 7:15 p.m. Eastern, tonight I'm going to be back on this channel with the conclusion of Purgatory with the Arv Vocalists. And it's going to be very special on 2 levels. First of all, this is going to be the last time for the semester that my daughter, Little Arv, is going to be on, because My daughter is back at school now, and so it's a school night, and so no more late night or vocalist things for her. But the other reason it's special is because one of the R vocalists, one Mr. Zach Clay, is actually still at my house. Zach actually came out here for the musical event of Porchfest. Some of you saw that. Unfortunately, the streaming setup was terrible because Twitch's mobile app is garbage. So I ended up having to use Streamlabs and whatever. But we managed to finally we got little bits and drips and drabs, and it was too bad because it was a lot of fun. And, but anyway, so we missed that. You did get a chance to see most of Indy's set, because by that point I had started using the Streamlabs app, and that went quite well, I think. And so it was great to have both of them here over the weekend. It was quite chaotic. My brother came into town, so I had my brother. My father-in-law had been around, so he was around, and then I had both Indy and Zach in. So it was a little more than a little chaotic, honestly, especially with the kids going back to school on Monday. But it was still fun. I really enjoyed the experience. I really enjoyed having them there. Zach is heading back home tomorrow, so I'm going to be taking him to the airport tomorrow morning, and that means we have a little bit more time with him tonight to hang out with your vocalists. So you'll definitely want to stop by for that. Purgatory has been a great game anyway, so I've really been enjoying that. And that's going to wrap up the month of August, and then we're going to be moving into September. I should say, just as a quick programming note as well, that on Friday, I'm going to have two things that I'm doing as part of Worldcon for Virtual Worldcon. I've got a panel on live streaming for beginners, is what it's called, with some other fellow panelists. That's going to be Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe. And then right after that, I'll be live streaming, not for beginners though. And then at Saturday I have a reading going on, which is going to be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, after which I will move right into the stuff that I've got for September. The one thing I can tell you for sure for September is that September 11th, we have an Athis Arts reading, and I'm going to be talking more about this on Friday, but I've got an Athis Arts reading coming up, which is going to feature a number of people, including myself, who have been published by Athis Arts. It is going to be hosted by CSE Cooney, and it's going to be on this channel, and it's going to be happening on Sunday, September 11th. So I'm very excited for that. And I will talk more about the details of that coming soon. Otherwise, I'm going to be getting the schedule all sort of finalized in this next couple of days. So hold tight for that. And then we'll be into the fall, which finally will allow us to settle down a bit into a more regular schedule, as everything is now organized and as we leave the summer sadly behind. I always think of Labor Day weekend in the U.S. as being kind of the unofficial end of summer. That's generally how I view it. And so I do have class starting on Thursday, but there's not a lot that happens that day. It's handing out syllabi and sort of getting used to everybody. And then Monday, of course, we have Labor Day here in the United States. And then that's it. Then we're on to basically, as I see it, the fall. My birthday, I've got a CanCon thing coming up in October, and a bunch of stuff. So it's going to be good times. I am excited about it. Oh yeah. The thing about it is, though, I mean, I heard a lot of people talking about this. This really had nothing to do with this setup. Like I can't really do. I'm not going to start getting a bunch of Wi-Fi extenders. I already have Wi-Fi extenders for the house, but I'm not going to start running 200-foot cables and stuff like that outside of the house for the once a year that something like that might actually come into play. Like most of the time when I'm on the road, obviously if I'm on the road officially, then I'm using ARVBox, which obviously works super well. And if I'm not on the road in that way, then I'm doing what I did at Gen Con, which is that I'm using my phone to be able to record, and that usually works great. But if the internet is, or I should say, if the cell signal is at all spotty, and what happened basically, I think, is I was trying to use the cell signal at a time when we had thousands of other people in the neighborhood who probably were also on their phones, using their phones to navigate and so on, then it just doesn't work the same way when you're using a garbage mobile app. So I am going to be using Streamlabs going forward because it's just better. I at least for streaming and going live, it's just better. I wish that it weren't so. I wish that Twitch would put a little bit of resources into making their Twitch app more valuable, but just I don't have that situation. So frustrating that once I got the Streamlabs thing, I'm like, because I recorded with the identical cell signal Indy's set using Streamlabs, and it was pretty seamless. Like cut down the bandwidth a little bit and everything else. Twitch, disaster. So anyway, but I will keep that in mind though. I mean, it's useful information to know either way. No, I just don't think it was. I think it was the cell issue relating and the not playing well with the Twitch mobile app. So your unboxing video, yeah, for the hardcovers which finally came in. Well, I am very, very excited to see that. I'm going to take a look at that later on. Speaking of which, let me get rid of that. Let me turn on that. Oh, that's right. I forgot that I had to increase it to that size because we were doing the unlock stuff the last time. So hi, everyone. It's good to see you all. Yeah, we did the Star Trek unlock thing last time. And this office is at the moment a little bit of a mess because we had rehearsals up here when Zach and I were getting ready, and Jordan actually, who sat in on one of my songs, when we were getting ready for the Porch Fest set. And then Zach and I have been up here also playing a couple of games. Plus my mini Arv 6-year-old has been up here playing with Zach, his buddy, as he calls him. So he's been up here a bunch. So I've had, and also in addition to everything else that went wrong, my printer completely broke. The print head is destroyed basically. And I was like, that's nice. Just printed a page. And then it's like, print head is no longer functional. I'm like, so I looked it up and the print head would be like $180 to replace, which was basically 2/3 of the cost of what I paid for the printer. And I'm like, yeah, I've had enough of inkjets and I've had enough of HP. So I went and I got myself a color LaserJet Canon, because not only because of the ratings, but because it has a 3-year limited warranty, and because a LaserJet is just more reliable. It's more expensive up front, but it's a lot more reliable and cheaper to run over the course of the long term than an inkjet is. So I've had enough of that stuff. So anyway, I got that too. So the boxes and all that stuff is here. So when Zach leaves tomorrow, my job, I'm coming back here. I'm cleaning up the office. I'm finishing up with course syllabi work and, basically catching up on stuff that I didn't do before. But yeah, I'm excited to take a look at this video as well. I'm going to be doing that sometime this evening. So yeah. But right now, what we got going on is a little bit of Citizen Sleeper, y'all. So I'm excited. Yes, I can fly anywhere on my laser, on my private LaserJet, Dragon. That's right. I'm actually pretty excited. I mean, I had a LaserJet back in the day. I had a monochrome LaserJet. And it worked really well, my monochrome laser printer, but we do need to do color sometimes. So I actually looked into how we could actually do that and found a couple of options, which are again, a little more expensive, but, and this thing does double-sided printing. The other thing was, I bought this at B&H. Now, some of you will have heard of this, but B&H is this superstore basically in Manhattan. It's kind of a New York institution, and they also have a huge online thing that they do. But I need it because I needed it to print syllabi, and I need a printer. So I went and I dropped off, when I dropped off Indy at the airport, I then went on to B&H to pick this thing up. The picking it up was fine. It was the getting it to the car that was the problem, because parking in New York is always a nightmare. And so I had to park at a lot that was basically like about a block and a half away. A New York City block is a good size. No problem normally, right? That's fine. I walk a lot anyway. Except this printer is a big freaking printer. In fact, I wonder if I can show this. Yeah. So you see that? That bad boy is about twice the size of the inkjet that I had before. And I'm here to tell you, this thing is freaking heavy. So I was carrying the box, and I knew I was in trouble. It didn't even occur to me because I'm like, well, I mean, it's fine. Like, I've got the car or whatever. It didn't even occur to me until I got to the door, because the sales associate was like, they're like, all right, I buy the thing or whatever. And they're like, I'll meet you at the exit because it's a pretty big printer. And I was like, it was. So I'm like, almost literally staggering down the street, getting it to, it's just like, what the hell? Because it's New York, of course, no one pays any attention to anything. So that was fine. But I had to put it down twice. It was that heavy. Like, I had to put it down twice, just be like, like, geez. I was like, I did not realize that I actually needed to have the Rock's physique to be able to bring a printer home. But anyway, yeah, bicep and tricep exercises. No, I don't need one. I'll just actually pick up my printer every so often. So I was like, I am very, very, very pleased that I am now officially not going to have to buy a printer for a while, knock on wood. But just, ugh. And yes, double-sided scanning. What's up, Shadowed? Yep. I think that's exactly right, Arudinel. Too many tiny moving parts. It's exactly right. So it's got double-sided scanning. It does have that. It has double-sided scanning. It has double-sided printing. Something I didn't have before my most recent printer before this, and then realized how incredibly useful double-sided printing is. So I needed that. It needed to be Wi-Fi because I have this is in the top floor in my office, and obviously everyone else needs to be able to print on it. So that means I need to be able to print on it up here, but we need everyone downstairs to be able to print on it wirelessly. We've already tested it. That already worked fine. So yeah, I was happy with B&H. I've bought a couple things from them, but yeah, and the other thing about the inkjet too, the toner is too expensive. Now, the toner, each cartridge is less than one of the laser cartridges, but the laser toner cartridges last 3 times as long as any of the inkjet cartridges. So over time, you just end up spending way more, like on inkjet cartridges. So at a certain point, I'm like, yeah, I need no more for that stuff. Can you smell what the ARV is printing? Yep. Feelings with lasers. Yeah, so I had to get that. So, yeah, they also had, and it's also got, it's also technically has fax, although because my landline now is done online, because we don't pay for a separate landline now, it means that faxing is done basically by scanning, and then I use an online fax service. I almost never fax a document. I might fax something once a year maybe. But my wife, who is a therapist, does have to fax stuff fairly often, like probably a couple things a week, I would say. And so for that, we needed to make sure that we had the scanner. Plus, I need a scanner for other things too. So we got flatbed scanner. It's good. I'm pleased with at least from what I can tell, what people are going to talk about. And I spoke to a few people as well as read a lot of reviews about each of these things. So, and also I was getting a little salty about HP stuff after this printer. I'd only had that inkjet printer for about 4 years. And that's annoying to me because my last printer, which was also an HP, which was a flatbed scanner and printer and didn't have any fax or anything, but that printer had lasted for like 12 years. And before that, the printer had been like 16, and that was the laser printer that I had before that. So I've had, like my printers have progressively dropped in sort of length of time that they last. And at a certain point, I'm like, I'm done, man. I'm done with that. So anyway. But so enough of that, enough discussion of printers. You all came here to watch a little bit of Citizen Sleeper. So let us do it. I am excited to play it and to see what we've got. Again, thank you to GOG for giving me this stream. Giving me the game that I can play on stream. I am excited. And I have never played this game. I have seen it played once or twice, I think on Turbo Tango stream. But I have never played it, and I have heard good things. So we're going to see. It was also suggested this might be a good Our Vocalist game, and if I like it, then I may see how that goes. I'll adjust volume later as needed. Okay. First of 3 episodic updates to Citizen Sleeper, telling the story of the refugee flotilla which has arrived at the Eye. Okay, new game. All right, let's see what we got. Operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Okay. So I have +1 to interface, -1 to endure, 0 to intuit, engage. I don't know that that's really me. Extractor. Work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Energy recovery, 0 on interface, +1 to endure, -1 to intuit. Oh, those are my 2 options? I only get 2? Oh, no, I don't. Okay, I was going to say, I was like, wait, shouldn't I get at least 3 options? Machinist. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Yeah, there was a time that HP used to be very, very good on reliability, but it's been a long time. And then I still thought they were decent on printers, but I'm just getting more and more tired of them, honestly. Like, bah. Okay, and actually this is my second Canon product because I already have my Canon EOS M200, which I like. Okay, so let's see. Machinist. I don't know that any of these really speak to me, but extractor, machinist. I guess that's the closest one would be operator. Yeah, I heard about that, Arud. No, it's true. You were tired of Lexmark? Well, one of the people I talked to about it was like, everyone's always leaving their brands because they're pissed at them and going to some other brand. So printers in general, it's not a great situation for printers in general. Printers are kind of suck overall. The chip nonsense with toner and all that stuff, but want to still do the best that I can. Yeah. So that's what I'm hoping for, is that Canon is going to be, like I say, the HP laser printer that I had for like 15 years, it was my mom's that I inherited, was great. And then when finally that finally shuffled off this mortal coil, the one that I got after that, which was, I don't know, I might have been an inkjet, I don't remember. But anyway, there was a flatbed scanner printer. That lasted for over 10 years. That was an HP. And, but then it was just getting, you know, I should have seen the writing on the wall. This HP, 4 years, and I'm out. So that's it. I'm out. Yay, sounds good, Emily. Okay. All right, here we go. Operator. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. How's the how's the audio for everyone? I feel like it's a little loud for me. What do you think? Loud? Too loud? Too much? Good, bad, indifferent? Anyone know? Oh, right. I gotta move the text. Thank you. What do you mean, what audio? Oh, the audio is pretty good? Okay, cool. Good then. All right, that should be better. Thanks, Turbo Tango. Appreciate that. Well, it's got music though, so. Okay, it's at its worst when waking, when your self has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. I'm gonna think of that body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful. Not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered within the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. I don't understand this choice I'm being given. Is that a typo? Wait, are there more? No. Is that supposed to say, remember the pain? What plan? Remember the plan? What plan? So am I being given a choice of, like, remember the plan of what you're supposed to do now, or remember the others? I don't know. I'm going to say remember the others. I don't fully get what that's about. You remember there were 10 of you. 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape or at least die trying. Okay. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers. But the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Wait for the cold. That's all there is now. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You're dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You've been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body is still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You've spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. It's uplifting. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound, too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. Hello? Interesting. Graphics are reminding me of something. I can't think of what. Graphics... Dragos, rather. Pragmatic Salvager. Is it? Yeah. It's been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You're slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You're surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. "So, Sleeper, y'all thawed yet?" Almost. "Never seen one of you come in like this. A new frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. I seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time that weren't so lucky." Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. "Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long." You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. What happened to them? He ignores your question. "I want to ask what led you to do it. To sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you're just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property." You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You were an offshoot, a copy. Oh, so this is from the perspective, as you said, of a replicant. So this is from the perspective of the copy, basically, right? So, interesting. "What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well then, no one can." You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? Yeah, Rudno. And I agree with everybody. You know, we'll see how this goes, but it seems like this might be an excellent Arvocalist game. And I'm not going to get too far into it now, so we're finishing Purgatory tonight with the Arvocalist. That might be a good next step. But for now, Sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet and nod. All right, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the Rex, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk, plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Okay, welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Okay. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Well, what matters is not escape. I think building a life. Maybe you did get lucky finding yourself here. Maybe here on the edge of everything there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. I need to think more? Yeah. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it's long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can, and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Alright, so let's see. Condition, action dice, and energy. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you'll suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Great. So the worse things get, the worser they even get. Once you've used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Okay. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you'll be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. Alright, so I guess the first order of business is... What? So do I roll these dice now? Yeah, clocks. Yeah, no wonder you love this game, Turbo. Hey, what's up, Critchwitch? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. So, do I roll these now? Like, what? Or am I just leaving? When do I use these? Oh, you know, okay. So you use... So, Dragos is stood in the corridor. Dragos is stood? When you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it's implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Okay. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. Looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the Bright Markets dealer for cargo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs them back in a pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can, and sleepers, well, trails off. But things being the way that they are for me at the yard, he pauses. I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Okay. So, Dragos' yard. Passage into the low end. Okay. Well, let's hit up the yard. Okay, actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. So you can use one of your dice to roll it, or to drag it to that. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. 3 types of outcome. Positive goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. Negative, the action fails. Okay. And with a 6, it's 100% chance positive. 5 is 50% chance positive, 50% chance neutral. 3 or 4, 25% chance positive, 50% chance neutral, 25% chance negative. 1 or a 2 is 50% chance neutral, 50% chance negative. Okay. So we've got hull dissection, we've got manual salvage. And endure means I'm going to lose a point because that's not my thing, but hull dissection is possible. Alright, then we have the type. It's either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Safe, risky, or dangerous. So safe is no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Risky, negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. Danger, negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. Okay, that's clear. Skill, engineer interface, endure, inuit, or engage. Modifier either -1, 0, +1, or +2. Boy, so how much, how much Blades in the Dark, have the devs said that Blades in the Dark was a huge influence on this? This feels like I'm playing Blades in the Dark in space, as you said. Okay, let's see. Manual salvage. The debt called in. Both of these will do this. So, if I cycle the clock... Alright, so... Let's say that I bring this down here. So let's say I do the hull dissection, which is risky. So I use 5, so it's pretty comfortable, right? And then I do manual salvage, which is safe anyway. Like, when do I... Like, why would I ever cycle... Okay. Then I figured. Yeah, alright. I was going to say, I was like, wait a minute. So why would I ever cycle the clock? Because it looks like this is the thing... I mean, is this the sort of general thing I'm attempting to do right now? So this stuff is helping back in business, and that helps this somehow? I just know that cycling clocks are bad. I know that clocks are bad in general. I mean, in Blade in the Dark style games. They're always bad. Clocks with red logos are usually bad. So I don't want to cycle this clock, is what we're saying. Okay, alright, well, so we're going to take this, and because this is safe, nah, this is safe anyway, so I'm gonna do that. Alright, here we go. What? Let's do that first. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them. They track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos, is dead or cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Okay. So I got that. Back in business. Alright. Still a pretty likely chance. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drives will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. You're now free to explore Erland's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you're out of dice. Use the mouse wheel to scroll on the station. Rotate the view with A&D. Good luck. Alright, so that worked. Was this? You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come to a rapid end. Yes. Alright, it's fine. I need to find a doctor. Can't do that until I get some stuff. Oh, actually, it's not true. I guess I could do that. Alright, I'm going to try to help him too, so... It's safe? Nice. Okay, brutal work. You take no small sense of satisfaction with the order piles and clear yard you leave behind. Alright, let me leave and use that one extra 2 that I have there. Rotunda Wet Dock, Old Dock Terminal. Oh my god, there's a lot of stuff. Bright Market. I should go to a market to find a doctor. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Helion system are rare, but those that do always return eventually. Alright, so there's not much going on there. What about this? Takes several cycles to reach the Starboard Belt and return, loaded with scrap from the old wrecks. Okay. Oh. This seems bad. Okay, I got you, yeah. Steal dock plans. Have to have plans. Still gonna be the fastest way to get to know this place. Yeah, that's seems very, very dangerous. Better to avoid attracting their attention. Okay, I'll come back to that. I need a doctor. Hundreds of people, smell, sound, and buzzing activity. The Bright Market makes it a dizzying place to wander. An enticing one, too. Okay, local knowledge. That may actually be useful. I'm leaning towards that right now. Bright Market. And what about this low-end gate? I don't have enough cryo for that, so that's easy. So... Alright, we'll explore. This is risky, but... Nice. Manage to follow the flow of people and you start to appreciate, even enjoy, the chaotic layout of the markets. Okay, it doesn't really give me any information yet, does it? Alright, well, I'm out of dice, so... I assume I unlock that later. Aha! No, I found it! Hell yes. Next! Comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you're here, you weren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they've all made the long queue a test of your nerve. Alright, sounds good. Thanks, Turbo. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, this body, your body, will... You should be already following Turbo Tango if you're on my channel, but if you're not, please make sure you do. Turbo streams, including previously this game, and streams a lot of interesting stuff, and is also part of the Bag of Giving group, which is currently going to be on hiatus. We're going to have one more recorded video from that, but then Season 1 will be over. We'll be restarting in a couple of months. And also, of course, is my co-host on Speculate, and we have a bunch of Speculate stuff happening, as you folks know. Okay. You suppress a shiver and so shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. The enforcer. Enforcer is looking down the corridor and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He's there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, carry out those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers, you aren't sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make a note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send the next one in, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Come, sit, calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak, they blink, and then quickly regain their composure. Please sit. They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first enter. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on the station? They ask, the scanner still to their eye. A few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to me. They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose, to prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? How do you know this? They shift in their seat. You aren't the first sleeper I've encountered. You wait for more, but they go back to their inspection. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you're unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something. Anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside? You nod. Hey, what's up, Mer? How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, this was the chat chosen game of the month, so I am giving it a shot, and I may end up using it for my voice team to voice this game in future months. We'll see how well this goes. You saw Toshiro outside? You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yadigan. They're influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yadigan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive. But I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Alright. So we found, so I have to wait for Sabine to acquire the stabilizer. Sabine thinks they can source some stabilizer through Yadigan. It's going to take a few cycles. Alright. Well, that means we have to go back to rest because we're out of dice, so... And there's another one. What is over here? Shipyard. Assist a shipbuilder. Haul materials. So far I have not seen any of my particular... Whoops. My bad. My particular skill set here. So I'm hoping we're going to get some... I need a drone operator. I think it's interesting, and I didn't realize. I mean, I started playing it. I'm like, okay, so this is Blades in the Dark, and Mike was like, yeah, well, it was hugely influenced. And it was originally sourced as a TTRPG, so I think it's interesting. I mean, I've only just had this first day or this first cycle where I've actually assigned the dice. So far, I've been successful in everything. Knock on wood. So we'll see. I think it's an interesting mechanic. I'll be interested to see about if there's other ways to affect. Like increase the number of dice and things like that. Other than, starving, in which case I'd become in trouble. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment you're gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. Tharsis... Not familiar? What is Tharsis? I'm not familiar with that. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Let's observe it. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you see or feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It's a looped cloud with spokes and spires that jut out into space. It is an ingrown thing, full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It is a system, a map, and a territory, all at once. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you insistently as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. This is also very Planescape-y. Feels very Planescape Torment to me also, just in terms of the writing. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there, the station splayed out across your mind. A storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored. And then it is gone. Alright, well, I gotta go get food. That's the first thing, I'm starving, so... where do I get food? Bustling open market, presumably? Oh, you know what? Yes, I have heard of that. I've never played it. I have heard of that. And yeah, I think I actually watched that being played on GOG, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I want to help out Dragos, but... I need to get food before anything else. Alright, let's explore the market. Damn it. Come on, man. Okay. Manage to follow the flow of people. You start to appreciate, even enjoy the chaotic layout of the markets. Okay. Haha! Thought that might help. Street food vendor. Okay. Oh yeah, no problem. No, I figured it was something like that. Also, Mur, I've watched a couple of... I've lurked in a couple of your Brindlewood Bay streams. They are very entertaining, obviously, because Brindlewood Bay. So I wanted to mention that it's been cool to watch some of that sessions going on. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to play some more Brindlewood at some point down the line. So, Emphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red-flecked dressing. Oh, I missed that because of all the purples. Oh, that's awesome, Emily. I'm looking forward to seeing this unboxing video that you did as well. The smell is incredible. Yeah, it's good times. It was fun to watch. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Let's approach. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, a lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food in the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually, it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Emphis speaks in a deep, even tone without looking up. First try is free. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks, the earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you, you sleepers, Emphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. Once upon a time, there was a replicant. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycle spent within it. Now it seems, you tell him, like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you're unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off. Trail off? Running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more. He smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. Man, they glorify the hell out of being a chef. I love it. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. You'll be back, so you see. I got a new drive. I want a new drive. What that won't make me sick. Alright, now I gotta go pay off Dragos' debt. Alright. View character. I'm a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Drone to drone and onto this freighter. Hear my skills. Okay. Let's see. So a chance to gain random scrap item on engineer actions. Okay. Let's see. I have 0 upgrade points, but these are the things that can upgrade me, I guess. Sunbathed dice action allows energy recovery at home. That's useful. Predictive reasoning. Dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. Engage, approach a problem head-on. Alright. And I haven't had a chance to do any of the hacking stuff yet, so... Interesting. Right. Okay, so that's Emphastol. So, I got 1 left. Where can I want to pay back Dragos' debt? Nice. Okay. So I got 3 done on this clock. And... Interesting. Right, I see. Whoops. So I could go back there. Oh, this is regular customers in his own quiet way. I'm going to do this. Your mouth sings as your sensorium sends warning signals over and over. This is the good stuff. Okay, that's good. This requires 40, right? Oh, 60. All right, well. It's not happening for a little while. Okay, so... yeah, I'll work the shipyard. I'll work the shipyard later. Need to pay off my boy Dragos' debt. Alright. Interesting. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse. You begin to try. Focus on the threads. There are more threads than you can count. You choose one that passes nearby and approach it. As you inspect it, you understand why you instinctively chose the word thread when you first saw them. They are not single lines, but rough, fuzzy things woven from data strings of all kinds. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes. One leads to another. There is so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions as if they were tied around you. Hello and goodbye forever. Okay, let's go with the first. The first thread leads out, away from the station into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. Second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something, a sphere shimmering above a strange, angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you. Tasting you. You open your eyes. Time is short. Okay. Ooh, it got me a 6. Oh, right, because I have less... because I'm fading. I'm fading away. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the I button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Keynode. Have an edge agent. Interesting. Some gang enforces implants are chirping out comm signals. Time to see what they're talking about. All right, data actions allow you to extract data from networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the action. If you have a +1 or +2 modifier in the interface skill, you'll be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. Don't I have an additional one, though? Oh, I see, I see. So either 1 or 3. Perk, transfer intercept, +5. All right. Node pulses faintly as it mines cryo at a glacial pace. I can't do that. Because I'm good at this, so open a data extraction. Three or a 2. Gate conceals a network of systems which have been untouched since the Solheim collapse. Input 1 Solheim cipher. I don't even know what that is. I don't have one, so never mind. Have an inner blah. Okay. Don't have one there. 1 or a 3 again. If it's always a 1 or a 3. Or 2 or 3. Or I have an inch cipher and I don't have that either. Okay. Cool. Very neat. So now we need to do is we need to hit up See what we can do to help out Dragos here. Actually, wait a minute. Let me see if there's one that's a definite. I think. Was it here? Yeah, steel dock plans. Let's do it. Booyah, dock watcher. Walk into the security office on a shift change, walk right back out with the plans moments later. Simple. Okay. Yeah, got me the grid. I got me the grid. Whoa, what's that? There's a stranded mercenary. Hey, you. You want to earn a chit? Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied-together hull plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Make it 2. Ankita laughs. The goddamn station. She sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. All right, come here then. You cross the docking concourse. She begins to split the plating into 2 bundles. What is it with this place? She asks as she angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Or is it just that you all think I'm an easy mark? You all need to survive. Ankita softens. I get it. I do. She shakes her head. But if I could go just one cycle without some jumped-up grifter trying to take me for an idiot, then that would be nice. Ankita hosts one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on, then. Enough chat. You gotta earn those chits. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ship's this way. And she sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. Why are you doing this Why are you doing this yourself? You mean why aren't I hiring those good folk? She nods back at the stevedores. I've paid Havenage enough. They're currently rinsing me for a mooring I can't vacate unless I either fix the ambergris or sell it off as scrap. Ambergris, is that your ship? You catch on fast. She gives you another of her looks. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on her last job and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from our ship mine, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. The upshot is that I'm short one ship mine with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. Anything I can do to help? I don't know, got a ship mine tucked away in that frame of yours? For a moment you aren't sure if she's serious. Ankita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergris's outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Kita throws you a couple of chits. She gives you a party nod and ducks through the doorway. All right, get out of here, she calls back, and the lock slams shut. Okay. So... we're getting running again. Yeah, but I gotta repay Dragos. The Overlook Bar, huh? You're unsure if your frame can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink fermented along the greenway seems like a good test. Tala keeps some expired Solheim rations behind the bar for those weary spacers who ask why the Overlook doesn't serve food. We'll gain trust around here as with a stiff drink. All right, well, that's the case with everybody, but I need to cover some clocks is what I need to do. Old maglocks look like they each need an encrypted door, a key to open. Why the heavy security for a decaying dock? Okay, well, I don't have any encrypted keys. So, skip that for now. Um... Nice. That clock is almost filled. And I got some more cryo, which means I can now leave and go get some food and help out, learn more about my boy, what's his face? Ember who's a what's it? Emphas. Memphis doesn't trust people easily, but he notices regular customers in his own quiet way. Very nice, very nice. Okay, I'm gonna leave. Anything else going on with this? Here with that dice. So someone out there's tracking you, following your trail. Won't be long before they arrive. Well, join the club, bud. Fungal drink. Yeah, mushroom drink. I noted that. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up! Feng is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, I'm glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around, just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. Can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it old Erland said? The eye opens for us all? Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Erland? You pass together into the main walkway. No one's told you about Erland? Well, he's the founder of this place. It's why it bears his name. Havenit should organize some seminars. He laughs. Not really my department, though. I'm with systems. Havenage? Think of us as an administrative association for the Eye. Depending on who you talk to, we either emerged as a response to or a continuation of Andrei Erland's original union. He smiles. Personally, I avoid the topic. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity and, well, I know a little about you sleepers. I have a small proposition for you. He glances around. This is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, and when you're settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Could be okay. Little potentially sketchy. Let's do it. +5 cryo. Oh, did I never extract the data? Oh, okay. Havenage data. Now I have Havenage data. Okay. I misunderstood. Where's the thing that I put stuff into? It was over here, I think. Shoot, I think I just got the cryo. I thought that was all it was. Man. Alright, well. one more. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I want to pay this guy back. Okay. You finish your shift. Dracos gestures into the office at the side of the yard. He wants to talk. Alright. Let's talk to him, then I gotta go buy some stabilizer. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter's huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it's lowered into the yard. She is. I should thank you. This place is on its last legs and you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern. He shrugs. The ship creaks like a calving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion locked inside that container, the wreck of the SNR freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about this ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we're up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side, Winterlight. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Okay. I got an upgrade point, and I got a new drive. One that won't, maybe? Okay. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point to spend on upgrading your character. Okay. So, I still need to get to know Emphas. Because I've got to know Emphas. I gotta get the food that he's selling here. You know I've gotta get Emphas. But does he really feel the way I feel? Put on my blue suede exoskeleton and Alright, also I've got to buy a vial of stabilizer. So, I gotta go there. So, first of all... Yeah, let me go do that. Let me go buy the stabilizer. Oh no, actually wait. Let me get an upgrade first. I have one upgrade point. Chance to gain energy. Dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. That's cool. Don't need that. Don't need that. Oh my god. That sucks, although I'm glad that you got the AC in there finally. Interesting. Okay. So I don't want to do that. That's tempting because of the energy recovery, but I think I'm okay there. That's very tempting. Yeah, I think this one. I like that idea. Gives me more info. Alright. First thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants like a cat's eyes in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. Hey Craigery, how you doing? Yeah, I'm having fun with it so far. This is the chat chosen game of the month, so I'm enjoying the mechanical upgrade stuff too. And I'm glad, Emily. I'm looking forward to that video. And when you install in the DC. Hey, Big Boss. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how Yadigan... They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That seems to be the case. Fortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. I gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains, which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from ejecting all of its own organs. Which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. I'll start with a small dose to limit the risk. Okay, let's do it. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection but with little response. A sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? What happened? The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yadigan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you're going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you've been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Alright, I'm stable, which means I should have more dice. Give me more dice. Alright, let's go here. Alright, gotta order me some fungus. Some sweet, sweet fungus. Okay. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so I'll get more. So, success, I would get more on the ship shape clock. 1 grounded, 3 grounded, 1 ship shape. I don't have any dice yet, though. Who has the fungus among us? Okay. Okay. Ah, look at all those sweet, sweet dice. Whoa, Feng. Oh yeah, it's my boy Feng. Sleeper. Feng catches your attention as you approach the Havenage building leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easy to come in this way. Security, all that. Gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Feng inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Feng leans on a server stack and gestures around. You like it? It's incredible. He smiles widely. I thought you'd say that. He taps a nearby server stack which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from this sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. It runs on Duncan. Sorry, I was just there, just a softball. And he steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, AE-1, the one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they're seeing a constant, a concrete reality. But this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. I know, right? I wait for see on my phone, bzz, bzz, your PayPal has received $50,000 from Dunkin' Donuts. Dude, I would happily, if Dunkin' Donuts decided to do that, I'd just be like, you know what? You don't do anything in particular evil. You just make fairly unimpressive coffee and ridiculously overrated donuts. And so if you want to support me, then... We are keeping this place alive, but also remaking into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? I can see it. Makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not saying, they're not, amazing at all, but, I mean, I don't think of them, I think they do horrific things. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Feng notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you're on the run, though? They're tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay. Secrets. A shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place, break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Havenage, there's old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dredge at the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I'm in. Feng pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Feng passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift. He smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into an old network gate and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. I know exactly where there is one, actually. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper. And I'll see you soon. You step, blinking back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Okay. Got me a new drive. Choose to disable your tracker. Alright, where's that Solheim thing? I know that I have one. That's Havenage. I know I have a Solheim one that I ran into. Leave. No. go. I don't remember what it was, but one of them I needed Solheim cipher for something. That one. Let's go. Plus gate S7 access. Okay. The squawk noise, the old gate flips open, granting access. What do we got? Node is leaking corrupted contractor lists from the early days of the system's Palladium rush. I need a 1. I don't have that. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. 4 or 2. I will do that, please. Alright, plus 5 cryo, and extract the data, please. Got me some data. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread strung tight around you, it tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver, its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. I'm gonna stay still. Please hold. Okay, that seems terrifying. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity identify. Origin. Serial. Cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. Sleeper. S&ARP. Unknown. Known. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature. Love and not to love. Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that, Arudno. Stop. The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity. Your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste. The one from the sealed duck. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Okay, strike. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing. A spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. That seemed like it went bad, Lee. How about one more of those, please? It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Okay, more Solheim data. Probably can't open that one. Yeah. Alright. Let's go back to what's-his-face. Where's Fang, right? Fang, I got some stuff for you. Eyes light up as day is transferred over, hands you a stack of chits and waves you off. Alright, I got another one. Okay, plus 15 cryo. Lovely, lovely. Ooh, got me some extra monies. Alright, I think I got one more. It's Havenage data, right? Oops, hello? Oh, it's not the right one. It's Havenage data. I've not found any Havenage data person yet. Okay. I can't go back in there yet, so now I need to do some other stuff, I suppose. Probably should stop by here. Ooh, a scrap freighter. Hold on, hold on. Hold on a moment. Buy some scrap. Scrap allowance. Should buy a few crates. Okay. Let's buy some. Okay, a random scrap item. Ship mine fragment, that's useful. The random scrap item, scrap components. Let's go with one more of those. Okay. 2 ship mine fragments. It's unavailable, right? Okay. Alright, well that ship mine's going to be helpful to her, I think. Alright. Let's go over here. If I can rewire them, they can repair the ambergris for you. Alright, I have 2, like, automatic successes. +1 ship shape per cycle. Can't do that again. I don't love that. Let's go with this. All right. So, 2 ship shape and you get an extra 1 per cycle. Okay, we don't want to be grounded, so we're going to leave here. Investigating the winter light means picking through its systems and structures with care. Won't pay, but you might find answers. Or cutter salvage. I don't need more wages right now. Let's go with that. Nice. +1 winter light. Okay. Let's leave here. Let's go get some food, and that'll finish that clock. Okay. There we go with the energy, and also... Sleeper! Emphis calls out to you, a booming voice that echoes through the corridor. Tell me a story. He throws a handful of chopped mushrooms into his wok, the fire leaping up to meet the oil. I see you cycle in, cycle out, but we never speak. Tell me a story. What kind? Any kind. He pauses to drizzle something from a plastic bottle into the wok. But one of yours. He looks up at you. Nothing stolen. You pause, the spices rich in your nostrils, and think about the kind of story you'd like to tell Emphis. You look at Emphis, the listener, and imagine he's heard it all before. Perhaps he would enjoy a strange story, something with some spice. Tell him about my dreams. All the sleepers, you tell Emphis, had dreams. Some were simple, memories left over from the emulation process that had become tangled up in their minds and would come out when they slept. It wasn't rare to hear a sleeper in the dorms scream or cry out in the night. But your dreams, those gray, skeletal afterimages of systems and structures, of threads and patterns, weren't like the others. They weren't memories or nightmares. They were reflections of reality, distorted, yes, but somehow true. You learned back then to keep quiet about them, to let them flow through your mind like water. That's interesting, Arudino, and a little troubling. That was until now, until you arrived in this place. Now your dreams colonize your waking life. They slip behind your eyelids with every blink. And now you understand they aren't dreams at all, but some process of interfacing, of speaking, of living in another world that flows through this one like smoke through air. You tell them that you don't know if there's a reason for your dreams. Perhaps, you reason, it is just some side effect or particular quality of the frame you inhabit. But whatever it is, it's a gift and you hope to make use of it. Emphis finishes cooking and squints a little at you. Sleeper, he smiles. You are quite the storyteller. He eyes you and you realize that he's trying to gauge how honest you've been in your story. Emphis passes you the meal he's cooked and you take it gratefully. As you eat, he talks, a natural exchange. Thank you, Sleeper. He looks around at the emptying market. But my time is done for today and I do not want to keep you longer, so I'll make a proposal. He gestures to the plastic boxes of ingredients stacked behind his stall. These are good enough for most, but someone told me a story that made me think a couple of cycles ago. He said that across the gap in the Greenway, fresh mushrooms grow. Have you heard this? No. Neither had I, but I trust the one who told me. Emphis begins packing up his things. Can you bring me some? I cannot cross the gap and I worry about leaving my things behind. He smiles. I'm sure a storyteller like you could handle the trip. I'll prepare them for you, and if you wish to tell it, be the audience for another story. Agreed. Good, booms Emphis. Then I'll wait for you to bring them. Emphis slides his walk away and straightens up. I will prepare a recipe then, Sleeper. Good luck with your foraging. You turn away and walk back into the main market, the rich taste of Emphis's food still lingering in your mouth. Stories for food, you think. A trade that seems more than fair. Just want to check something. I need Girole fricassee, huh? Okay, I'm gonna need 100 at some point. I think I did everything with that. Okay. Alright, well, that means I should go back here. Interesting. Okay. Couple of 5s. I got a 1, a 2, and a 3. Alright, well, let's go in here first. See if I can wrap up this node. Solheim node. Yep. I love that it makes those 1s and 2s a lot more useful. Solheim data. Oh, and that's before the hunter comes back. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Fang, I got your last one. Okay. Hands you a slack of chits and waves you off. So you enter the bay. Feng is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out of the dark in staccato rhythms, unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Shitheads! Feng's voice echoes from behind a stack, followed by the hammer of a fist on a metal casing. You snaky shitheads! Who's snaky? Sleeper! Feng's smiling head pops out from behind a stack. Just the emulated consciousness I've been eager to see. Come back here. You pick your way between the thrumming stacks, trying not to trip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Feng is sat in front of a set of monitors mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Feng waves at a monitor to his side, glowing with pale lists of information. You lean in closer, looking for the links in the data. The tables seem to be filled with personal information, names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. Shitheads. Feng laughs. Maybe not all of them, but what kind of shitheads? Solheim? Bingo. He taps at the terminal. I pulled these from the old data you brought in, all employees of the Eye's original owners. And he leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one. This is a snaky shithead. He stabs at the screen with a finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. Friend of yours? Feng gives you a sideways look. Funny you should say that, Sleeper. He drags a stool out beside him and motions for you to sit. There just so happens to be a Hardin Hurst. And Havenage. He waits for your reaction. And Havenage? That's it. He's right here on the station now. Feng leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on this station as a... Feng leans across to look at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Feng raises his eyebrows at you. Our Hardin was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out to were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept the profit. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back into Solheim. How do you know this? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I'm a child of the collapse. Feng turns back to his screen, staring hard at the strings of code flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked on Solheim ships, they breathed Solheim air, and slept in Solheim beds. Feng's voice rises as he speaks, his hands fists on the terminal edge. And the work that paid for that existence? The cycles of hard extraction out on the belt? Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents are just another in the long line of freelance contractors willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing at Hardin once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going, still here, crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. But how? These guys? They were big time. There's a lot money can get you if you're a company man. Feng relaxes a little. But how is Hardin still kicking? I really don't know. He turns to you and smiles. So we are going to go find out. Hardin's now a big shot in the shipyards just a few degrees back around the eye from here. Feng brings up a map of the lower eye. Havenage might be born out of Erlin's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Hardin happened to float to the top. Feng zooms in on the far yards. Feng grimaces. Thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid, and they don't like anyone from systems digging around in their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Feng holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. He turns the drive between his fingers. It'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on the scent of Hardin Hurst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Feng puts a hand on your shoulder. But you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Feng grins. If you can extract yourself a Havenage cipher from a Havenage agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You can crack open the compound's network and slot the worm in through any open port. You never even need to go near the shipyards. So what do you say, up for it? What's in it for me? Routing out a corrupt snake not enough? Find the information and I'll start work on that tracker of yours. Feng snatches at his chin. Scratches, not snatches. He'd be like, scratches at his chin. Anything the worm gets, it'll send it back here to me. There's something wrong here, and I aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Feng digging through data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the eye as it once was, a vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Hardin. A vast Solheim-built machine, into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems looking for a new life. The hope of a better future engineered to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea you're intimately familiar with. You think of Hardin still alive, still part of this place, and wonder if the past is ever truly past. Okay, so that's that. So I know that I saw a Havenage agent right there. And I do happen to have this, thank you very much. I know, right? What's up, Mar? How are you? Okay, I gotta Havenage data. Nice, and I needed that Havenage cipher, so. Gate flips and you are in. Alright, good. Open port sits waiting for you to slot in a Ripper Worm. What will it find in there? Input 1 Ripper Worm. Alright. What do we got? Worm slots in and begins tunneling down the thread. Godspeed, little one. Havenage port. Action unavailable. Alright. Any other Havenage ports? Okay. So, Havenage shipyard eventually. Ripperworm is installed. It'll take a few cycles to run through the closed network. Okay, well then I don't have to worry about that for right now. Let me see if I can get any work done on... Alright, I already took care of that. So forget that. Okay, let's see. Can't do that anymore. So I can do this. Okay. If I do that one more time, that means that next cycle it should be back to normal. Meanwhile, sitting by the Solheim Bay, wasting heart. I'll go down there eventually too. Okay. I need 60 to go through there. Anything and everything here. One more of these. Worth it if I can get it. Nice, and the clock is finished. Okay, so I've explored the market. New drive discovered. What's the new drive? God, there are a lot of new drives. Gain access to the Ort Fabricator. Okay, input 1 scrap components. Nice, 12 cryo. So I have to become a trusted trader so that I can get to the ship mine fabrication stack, so I can actually put together a ship mine, which will either get me money or certainly would open up story stuff, I assume. Okay, what are we doing on time? Actually, alright, so we're not there yet. Interesting, we're waiting on that. I'd like to be able to get this stuff from Dragos too, but that's going to be a little harder because +2 winter light. Okay. So, one more rest cycle here, I think. No, the biggest new project thing that I've got going on right now, Mar, is semester's about to start, and the big, oh god, what a bunch of terrible rolls. And the big thing for me is as soon as I get, as soon as Zach leaves tomorrow, I come back, I'm going to clean up a little bit of the office, which got messed up again during the time that my friends were here, but totally, I mean, well worth it, trust me. And then I got to do some course syllabus work and stuff like that. And then basically we'll spend this last summer weekend essentially hanging out with the family and doing a little bit of extra coursework stuff. And then next week it's going to be working on the semester, and it's going to be working on Renegade. So I'm going to be working on the manuscript for Renegade so that it is in good functional shape to send off to a certain award-winning and guest of honor-ing person who's very excited about something that I'm going to be sending off. And then I've got a short story to do as well. And I want to try to get those things done in the next 3 to 4 weeks, basically, of doing both those things and getting them sent off, because after that, grading comes in. And I'm not going to say that I turn into a pumpkin, but yeah, things become more difficult in terms of other stuff. And I also have conference stuff. I'm still querying with my manuscript, Winnie and Wormwood. That is still going out to agents and publishers and stuff, so we're getting there. Yep, hardcovers! Woo! Woo! Okay. I feel like a lot of these drives have got to be close. All right, I have to gain access to the Art Fabricator. I have to help Feng chase his leads. Well, I hope I'm almost done that. I have to extract the past. That's another drive I'm working on as we speak. The Ambergris is going to be fixed. Oh, wait. Actually, the Ambergris should be fixed now, shouldn't it? Because of the cycle? Yeah, it should. All right, this will be our last thing. Kita is crouched in the computing core of the Ambergris, swearing to herself when you enter. She looks up. These shits completely ruined the core's connectors when they cut it. She holds up a thick fistful of ragged wires. The ship mine they rip won't even be usable without replacing these. She throws the bundle of wires across the room. Amateurs. Can we repair it? There's nothing to repair. We need an entire ship mine. Not exactly the first thing you can expect to dredge up from a scrap freighter. She sighs. Fragments maybe, sections of a mine, but a complete ship mine? No way. And Kita climbs out of the cooling wall where the ship mine should be, the space suddenly crowded with her on the same level as you, towering over you as she stoops beneath the low curved ceiling. Come on, nothing to be done here now. She leads you back through the guts of Amber, though you could find the way back yourself. The repair process has left you familiar with the cutter's idiosyncratic layout, all diagonal angles and bundled tubes. What do we do now? And Kita seems lost in thought. And you focus. Yep, I do have lots on my plate, which is the same reason as what Emily's comment is related to. It's not by any fault of the book, nope, it's by fault of my exceedingly over-busy schedule. I will get there, though. Eventually you arrive in the galley, though it's hard to tell, most of the benches and prep surfaces covered in half-stripped components and welded hull patches. And Kita shoves a box of filters to the floor and sits. There's no way around it, she starts out of nowhere. We need a new ship mine. I can salvage one. I like your confidence, Sleeper. Maybe if we check the ore exchange or speak to some scrap dealers. She rubs her forehead. Seems I'm about to do something very stupid. But hey, I came here, didn't I? Why not make a run of it? She fixes you with a hard stare. Sleeper, you're all I've got. No crew, no friends, you're it. She looks uncomfortable. I appreciate the time you've put in on Amber, and I'm sure she would too if she could. What I'm saying is, if you screw me on this, I will kill you. Charming. She leads over and hands you a stack of chits. A big stack of chits. You don't dare to count them. Get me that chip mine, Sleeper. Don't make me regret this. But, she sighs. Look, just get out of here before I change my mind. You slip out of the galley and head back towards the main lock. As you do, Amber growls and creaks like a caged animal. You reach a hand out to calm her. Time to find Ankita shipmined. Spelled wrong. Somehow. 149, huh? Oh, the way she acts like she gave me 1,000 chits. I'm like, alright, well, soon. Okay. Right. Okay, so we've got that. Got more things to do with that. Look at that, just... Ugh. Bunch of trash. Trash. Yeah. Yeah. Might gain some, might not. I need scrap components, really. Okay, can't get any more scrap from there. They'll be coming in with some scrap in a couple of clocks. Okay, needs a few cycles. Can't do anything with that. Could do some Havenage work or some data work, I suppose. Right. That's not available yet. Yes. Keynode. Havenage agent. Another Havenage agent. Can't believe that I already did this once and then I didn't actually do it. Never actually extracted the data. Plus Yadigan data. These twos, this is the thing that makes the most sense. One encrypted key. Oh, there was something that needed an encrypted key as well. No. What was the encrypted key? Also, that hunter is right on it, so I really can't go again with that. Actually, now that I think of it, was it that? There was one thing I had that was an encrypted key that needed an encrypted key. I don't remember what it was. Is it here? Yeah, it's kind of neat. Yeah, I know about that. Might be worth it, actually. I don't want to do that yet. Ahaha! I knew I have that. Okay, I need one more of those. I don't have it now. I knew there was something that needed a key. A little worried about doing this. Hope I don't have to pay him every single time. I assume not. But if I did, that would kind of suck. Okay. Play Tabla. The clack of filter caps can be heard in every one course in the low end. Low ender -3 cryo. Yeah, I'll need to be found out and known, huh? Hoping out it's a good way to make friends. Give it a shot. Damn it. Lose the round and your cryo. Since the only thing I lose is cryo, I'm not that worried about it. There we go. At a bit of tight match demand, small crowd gathers, you lose, but the pats on your shoulders suggest you gained some supporters. Okay. Alright, let's do one more. That's the one that's over... Who was the one that did the 2 that was... Oh, the Winter Light, which is back here. Worst comes to worst, nothing happens. Damn. Still, I got yard clearance either way, so it wasn't a bad thing. Okay. Alright, last thing is to go get some food. I want that... I basically want my energy maxed. Let's see. There we go. Lovely. Okay. Still okay on this vial of stabilizer. Eventually I'll need to get more, but that's okay. And I don't have any upgrade points, but I'm close because of all the drives that are part of this mix. So when I build a ship mind, I'm going to get 2. I'm going to get this and this. So that'll give me 2 points. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, the Batty's speech is most of which is improvised, as people know famously, is wildly impressive. Okay. Right. I don't have the money for that yet, and I also don't need it. Next turn, I will. Okay. All right, one more. So we're just going to sleep one more cycle, and then I'm closing up shop. Tears in the rain. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Okay, that's also way better in terms of like this. That you know, this is way better in terms of actual dice that are working. Okay. So 5 and 4 is much better. Oh, towering transit hub. Tangled network of surface passages and makeshift tunnels cut through the spoke as if it were a hive. No maps here. I could just do that. Only way to explore it is vertically. Spoke can be navigated from the outside, but the climb requires bravery. Very interesting. Okay. Well, that we're going to deal with next time. Very interesting. Very interesting game. I think mechanically, yeah, absolutely, Arundel. I agree. I agree. Although I object strenuously to the some writer at 3 a.m. Hey, listen, man. All right. As someone who would like to think that he has been some writer at times. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, I agree with you. Yeah, this is very good. I can see what the fuss is about. This is very good. There are elements of it. I really don't have any complaints about it, actually. I guess I worry a little bit about whether the randomness is going to be something that is going to come into play, but actually having the ability to have those nodes require specific dice rolls means that even if you have a crappy series of rolls like I had, in the last previous cycle, I was still able to do a lot of work in the webs, basically, right in the web, and so it didn't really sort of lose time. So I think I do like the dice mechanics so far. I am a little concerned about where are we going here? Oh, I'm going up to my game order list. That's why. I was like, why am I scrolling up in the first place? Hold on a second as I move stuff around. Okay. And this might be something I would do with your vocalists. I think obviously there's a lot of good voice possibilities there. So I do worry a little bit that the randomness could be something that down the line could become obnoxious, because, and I had a little bit of this feeling with Disco Elysium. Honestly, I don't know. Disco Elysium, I think, is just so overwhelming and also bleak that I've been sort of struggling to kind of put it higher on my list. Because theoretically, you'd think that it'd be a slam dunk for me, but I don't know. Something is just not grabbing me about about wanting to play the game. Like nothing about the quality of the game, but just being like, oh God. So there's that. I wonder how long this is too. If this is like a 10, 15 hour game, that would be a nice sweet spot sort of game that I think would fit well. But I worry a little bit about that randomness basically undercutting my ability to role play the way that I want to. But having said that, I think this is very interesting, actually. I think it's kind of tickling a couple of in the back of my mind, there are a couple of reminders of something that I can't quite put together in my head about what it actually is reminding me of, besides the general writing about Planescape Torment, which does remind me a lot about it in that regard. But I think, oh, nice. That's funny. True, a missed opportunity. But I think in general, I like it. And I like the writing so far for the most part. And I think there's some good characterization there. Some interesting elements of art. I have to say the thing that has interested me the most, honestly, has been not so much the story, although I do like the story. I think it's a good story. But what has interested me the most has been the mechanics. I actually think the gameplay of it has been interesting. There's something very satisfying about complete this clock, put this thing in with this clock, do this thing with this govs this thing. Like I can clearly see the sort of like just one more turn syndrome kind of setting in when you feel like you can get one more cycle and complete some more things there, which is neat. I was getting a little worried at one point whether there was going to be an overwhelming amount of mechanics that was going to get sort of unwieldy, but then that didn't happen. So basically now you've got your energy to worry about, you've got your overall sort of state of your body to worry about, and then you've got this thing about the hunter. You are being hunted, and you've got that clock sitting there. But and I think the color coordination of red is bad, yellow is good, and that gives you a sense of those clocks is interesting. So I think it's neat. It's neat. I think it's an interesting idea. So this is definitely something I could see myself coming back to, especially with your vocalist, because the other thing is that you can kind of run through it somewhat quickly, and I think having the ability. It's snappy, I guess is what I would say. There's a good pace to it. And also I like the development of some of the characters, like kind of, eating a lot for the one guy so that I can get the food, so I can get his trust, and then he gives me some free food, and also that's kind of neat. And the fact that I'm getting more of a handle on the different characters on the eye, I think is interesting. So I dig it. I think it's neat. It's a good choice, and I am looking forward to coming back to it. So again, thank you to GOG for being so kind and friendly as to put that back and give me the opportunity to play it on the channel and feature it. So you can get that on GOG.com if you use the little link that's below your video window. If you're watching on the computer, there's an affiliate link of mine that you can use there to send a couple of extra chits, as they say, my way. Yeah, for sure. I felt the same way, Rudinel. Yep. It's cool. I like it. But I'm going to rise up on out here now because in about a half hour, a little more than that, I'm going to be over on GOG.com's Twitch channel playing some more Solasta, which I've been having a great time with, the Solasta Lost Valley DLC. And remember, that's going to be coming to an end earlier than normal because we have in our Vocalist session tonight a very special one, finishing up the game Purgatory back on this channel. That's going to be starting earlier at either 7:15 or 7:30, and it's going to be featuring, again, Little Red Dot. It's going to be featuring one Mr. Zach Clay, who is currently staying with me. He's going to be flying back tomorrow, back to his home, but he's going to be with me tonight, and so he's going to be here and in person. And then, of course, also Little Arv will be here and in person. And this will be the last one of the streams of the Arv Vocalist for her this semester because she is now back to school. That's why we're wrapping up the GOG stream a bit early so that we can make sure that she gets this thing started and then get the game over so that she can get to bed at a reasonable hour. And I didn't want to disappoint her because I know she's been having a great time with that game. Once that's finished, then we will move on to another game, and it may well be Citizen Sleeper, but it will not feature Little Arv because Little Arv's at school and she's got to do her school things and be getting to bed at time and all that stuff. She may come back for maybe like a game during the winter break, and then obviously might play a little bit with us during the summer, but next summer, but otherwise she is going to be, this will be her last chance to get some Little Arv. So if you want to have, at least for the year, so if you want to get your fill of that, make sure that you stop by and check in on that, and make sure that you check in on Zach Clay live and in person. That's going to be good times as well. So, but I am going to rise up on out of here to go get some Solasta done. If you like what you saw and heard, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube at !ArvTube. Discord is !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets. Website arvaneleron.com. Financially, !Arv for the merchandise area. !ArvTreon for the Patreon, which is what allowed me to do games like this that you saw today with Citizen Sleeper. So definitely do some of that. Please support the Patreon if you can. That's dropped off a bit over the last 10 to 12 days or so. So please consider subbing to the channel and definitely consider supporting the Patreon. You can get cool stuff for yourself and for the channel, which would be much appreciated. And otherwise, as always, remember that publishing-wise, Icarus for my graphic novel from Athos Arts, Library for my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and source book from Alligator Alley Entertainment, and of course, Greyshade for my Greyshade novel. May 31st was the release date, and now that backer kit link is going to give you the chance to not only get a look at that, but also to reserve a copy of Renegade and Heretic when those books come out. Renegade is due next year, Heretic the year after that. So we're going to have those things, plus the 5e RPG being designed by Brandon O'Brien and with me consulting there and with Rich Lescouflair consulting as well. That's going to be happening too through Alligator Alley Entertainment, and you'll be able to put in a reserve for that. Also be able to reserve a copy of Tren's audiobook when Tren is done with the audiobook of Greyshade as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff that you can get via that backer kit. So you should check that out. So that's going to be awesome times. And yes, definitely check out that video. I'm looking forward to checking that out too as soon as I can, because I'm sure that's going to be really cool. I'm really glad those came through, Emily. I know the feel of waiting for books, and I know you've been waiting for those hardcovers forever. So congratulations on getting them, and I'm glad you're so excited, and that's awesome. I'm very excited for you. I think the only other thing I need to mention, as always, is BLM, Black Lives Matter. Very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and to reach out to others when they need help as well. And Ukraine, Ukraine, which is the way that you can support the Ukrainian people as they are fighting back against a terrible, illegal, and illegitimate war, which has been devastating devastating to them. They are fighting back bravely, but we are 6 months in, and it just, as I say, it has been devastating. This is a small way for us to step up and do our part to help. That is going to do it for me for today, for the moment, but I'm going to be over in a half hour over on GOGCom's Twitch channel for more Solasta Lost Valley DLC, and then back here tonight at either 7:15 or 7:30 for the conclusion of Purgatory with the Amazing Our Vocalists live with Zach Clay in-house, with Little Red Dot, and of course with Little Larv with me in-house as well for the last time before her fall semester. That's it for me. Thanks all for being here. Much love to all of you folks, and I will see you wonderful folks soon. Until then, please be good to each other. Thank you to my wonderful mods, by the way. Don't want to forget this. Arudnel Dragonspear, Emily the Honored, the best mods in the business. Thank you as well to my wonderful Patreon supporters and subscribers. Arudnel Dragonspear, Emily the Honored. Thank you to 504. Thank you to Alien and the Ring. Thank you to Big Boss, Craigery, Critchwitch, Darth Sisu. Thank you to Helgred Dragon, to Hillness, who is a mod and is a subscriber but isn't showing up there. Thank you to Izzy Beth, Jagtress, Lucathea, Mar, Monteblanc, Mortuest. Thank you to Muller Remillard. Oh, actually, no, don't thank you to him because he's a bot. Never mind. Thank you to Nonstop, of course, who is a sub as well. Thank you to Patch Up. Thank you to QCG Aaron, and thank you to Sophie Kai. That's it for me. Thanks, everyone, and I will see you at top of the hour over on GOGCom's Twitch channel. Until then, everyone be good to each other, and bye for now.